Hello, I am Caleb, and I'm going to be showing you my Counter-Strike warm-up routine. So I'm the captain of the Slippery Rock Esports team for the Slippery Rock Esports Club, and this is what pretty much all of the players do before each game or each time we go to play. And this is what we do. So we use a Steam community map. It's called Aimbots training map, and it's a really good tool as it helps work on certain things, and it has a lot of configurable options that allow you to have a lot of freedom in what you want to practice. So I'm just loading into it right now. This is a free map, so any player can use it. It's just on the Steam Workshop, and I've noticed that the players who do use this do tend to perform better. I myself think I perform better. So this is all it is. There's just a group, there's just a bunch of bots, and you basically just shoot at them. So I do 500 kills. That's a good way to warm up, and that takes usually about 20 minutes. So to just go over a few things about the map first, so you can see how I use it to help me. So there's a ton of things. So right now the ground is flat, and you can see that everything is symmetrical. You can change this by adding various different things like crates and boxes and walls, and that kind of simulates more of a realistic game. So what players would actually do in a real game with actual boundaries. But what I'm trying to do is get warmed up and practice things like my sprays and my headshots. So headshots are an insta-kill with the AK, which the gun I have now. So I'm just trying to practice getting as close to the head as possible. And I am not focused that much, so I am probably missing quite a lot as I'm trying to talk through this. But I just do this, and I do 200 kills on a rifle. So the various rifles that you can use are up here. So things like the M4A4 or the M4A1S, if you use that. And it's the same thing. You just keep trying to get kills with the gun and continue to just practice your aim. So I specifically practice a lot of movement. So CSGO has a special system where they work on sprays, and your spray is affected by movement. So basically, to control a spray, you see how they're in a cluster. I'm not the best at it at that range, but you could see how you have to move your mouse in a certain way to then contradict the recoil that the gun is putting out. And it is affected by movement. So you want to be as still as possible in Counter-Strike when you're trying to get a kill. And I specifically move around and then stop my movement to try to get kills. So I'm pressing D right now, and to stop movement, I click A, and then that means I'm no longer moving, and that means I will be as accurate as possible. And that is just a really good simulation of going around a corner or going, like, peeking an area where I might think an enemy is, so that I can actually I can simulate that. 1 second. Where are they at? There you go. So things like this. So this wall is here, and I know an enemy is about right there because I have good map knowledge, and I just go like that, and that's what I basically practice this. And I do occasionally turn this off and on, and I do variable configurations. You can change the range in which enemies spawn with these little fun buttons up here. So this will bring the wall closer, meaning enemies will now spawn closer to me. So this is basically what I do for 200 kills with a rifle. So that is one of the things I do. You can also add more bots if you're just trying to get a lot of practice. So 200 kills with this, with various rifles, mainly focusing on the AK and M4A4, as these are your two main guns. But you can practice with guns like the SG or the Krig, as most players call it. And like I said, just going for headshots, trying to practice recoil control. So 200 kills with any of these guns up here, excluding the FAMAS and Galil, as those are a different category. And you can make the bots move, which also simulates in-game movement. So there are tons of different things that I can practice with this tool that help me as a player. And then, so it's 200 kills with any of the guns, excluding the Galil or FAMAS. And then you want to get 100 kills with the AWP. So the AWP is a very good gun in Counter-Strike, and it's the same thing so this is a good way to see. As you can see, my crosshair is very blurry, and when I stop, it comes clear. So, oh, I messed that one up. So it's the same thing as pressing D and then clicking A to stop my movement. And I'm not the best opper. I'm not the opper on my team. But yeah, this is basically what I do for 100 kills with the op. And I'm just trying to practice some flicks so that I can get better with the op and simulate maybe seeing an enemy walk. So if I were to see an enemy like walking across a wall or a open area, and then I'm trying to practice flicking to them. And like I said, I'm awful with the op. So I tend to not do much with it. I don't have much practice with it. But this is basically what I do for 100 kills on this. And as you can see in the bottom right-hand corner, you can see how many kills I have. So I've only done 96. I do 500 before every time I play. And then I do 100 kills with pistol, mainly focusing on the USP, the Glock, the Deagle, the CZ. So USP, CZ, Deagle, Glock, and P250 are kind of the guns I focus on, as those are your main pistols that you will probably be using. And this is basically what I do for 100 more kills. And it's pretty simple. It's just practicing movement, practicing tapping interval, because tapping also affects the recoil control. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but how willy-nilly my crosshair goes, as opposed to if I space it out, I'm more accurate. So getting that tempo down is also something I try to practice to get the most shots off with still maintaining the precision. So 100 kills with various pistols, and practicing their sprays if they have them. And then the last bit is 100 kills with, not these, with SMGs. So SMGs are usually used in the earlier rounds, so I use those to practice early game. And sometimes late game when you have a bad economy, because this game is also based upon economy and buying things, which is very important to know how to do. So same thing, just practicing aim, going for headshots, and recoil control. It's really hard to control an SMG at that range. as they're not ranged weapons. The Galil and FAMAS do fall into this category, and I specifically train these a lot as they are very good guns when you get to know how to use them. I personally think they're underused. People tend to just use the M4A4 on CT or the AK, which makes sense for the AK, but not the M4A4. I actually prefer the Galil. Some people make fun of me for that, but same thing, just practicing spray control here, and then Galil, same thing, just practicing getting the sprays down. And this is basically what I do for 500 kills, and it takes me about 20 minutes when I am focusing and trying to actually do it good. See, like that was bad because I'm focusing. So that's what I do. That is my warm up, and that is most of my players' warm up. I know lots of people actually go outside. Yeah, so you could take the walls down. I know some players do this as well to practice close-up combat. So that's basically what I do, and that's my warm up. Thanks for watching.